I am at a disadvantage and I won't be able to see you. And so I won't get to see your facial expressions.
Weird. Weird.
Everybody be cool.
Would it be fair to kind of consider you more like a kind of a right wing guy? Yeah.
Yes.
Are you a Trump supporter? I'm actually not sure.
Yes.
Were you guys watching the primaries last night?
I didn't watch the
Oh,
primaries.
fair enough. If you weren't watching or paying attention, then fair enough. Just kind of like a while you're here and I have you, it's something I'm curious about. The reason I called you on, I saw that you did a video where you went over my ambush of Dragonfist TV.
So from what I saw, Dragonfist, Andrew of Dragonfist TV was on a panel, on your panel, with a few other people. And I don't remember what you guys were discussing, but then out of nowhere, you get these messages from Sarah, the Raging Tomato. And I felt like
Yes.
you kind of just put a halt to everything. You're like, all right, you're like, everybody get off now. I'm gonna have to kick everybody off. I gotta talk to Dragonfist about something. And so you kicked everybody off, and then you just talked to Dragonfist about the messages. So that's why I characterize it as an ambush, because it kind of just came out of nowhere. Like you literally shut the discussion down to have this conversation.
The discussion had been going on for 2 hours. The content was getting stale. I saw Raging Tomato, Sarah, in the chat. There was an issue that she had with Dragonfist TV. Andrew Wilson had coerced or pressured Dragonfist into no longer working with Sarah. I had invited Dragonfist on weeks ago to do the versus the world format. He would come on my show and take on all comers. Anyone could call in, and if they had an issue with him, they could bring that issue up and he would address it. Knew that going in. He knew that that was a thing. I asked him specifically, hold on. I'm pretty sure I did. I want to make sure I did. So no, usually I give the people the option to not have someone on. Doesn't look like I did. I did not prepare for this, but it was just good content and it was well within the bonds of what he had agreed to. And I thought it was eminently fair. And I asked him, like, are you okay with this? And he's like, okay, let's do it. But I do want to make it clear, like, I was not satisfied with his answers. I felt he was very weaselly throughout it.
I felt you were kind of being weaselly because he kept telling you over and over again what the situation was. And you kept going, no, I don't like that answer. And you kept trying to kind of get the answer you wanted out of them, even though he already told you several times there was no coercion or anything. So I think you were kind of more being the weaselly one in that instance.
The reason why I didn't believe him is because what he was saying did not match the text messages that I was looking at. Look, I've been doing these things for a long time. It set my alarm off. I pressed him on it. Pressed him on it. I want to be very clear. I wasn't there. I didn't see what happened. I don't know for certain what went on. Like, I was not satisfied with his answers, but those messages were of a very different tone and style than the things that he was telling me.
What exactly were the contradictions there that were setting off your BS alarms?
Basically, in the texts that he was sending, he seemed to imply that he was getting pressured by Andrew Wilson. Andrew Wilson was giving him a soft ultimatum. When I asked him about it directly, he was saying things like, well, there was no pressure at all. There was nothing. I don't know why he would be lying there, right? But I'm sure there are reasons. There are social pressures, right? I'm sure he knew that Sarah and Andrew were beefing. And I'm sure he kind of wanted to soften the blow a little bit.
Okay, so maybe I missed it, but what in the messages, because you put the messages on the
Let me bring it
screen.
up. I have too many DMs.
Popular guy.
You know, Discord has a friend limit, just as an aside.
Actually, no, I didn't.
I didn't either until I hit it the other day.
Phil Swift here for Flex Tape.
Wow. Dragonfist said, I knew exactly what was happening and I made a decision on my own accord with no pressure or promise of anything.
I understand, but I don't believe him when he says that. I don't know for certain what went on. There's always pressures in these spaces, especially when a large creator that just went on Joe Rogan for the second time today.
The
or was it
Kingmaker.
yesterday? I forget.
It was today.
Yeah,
Well,
he's a
yeah.
kingmaker. You'd have to grant me that. So when someone with that much clout, influence, and power is making an offer or an ask, right, to you, there is an implicit pressure behind that.
So then I have a question to ask you though. So
Go
if
for it.
Andrew Wilson were to go up to you and be like, "Hey Wick, look, I want to promote your channel. I want to help you out. I want to help your channel grow. I have connections to all these people. I'll help you out, Wick. But you got to stop affiliation with Destiny." What would you do?
What would I do? I'd say off. What would I do? I'd say off. I'd say off. I'd say off because I don't like Andrew Wilson and because there are contravailing pressures and I have certain principles. But to ask, I would not say that there is no pressure there.
Yeah, but you just admitted right now that you would tell him to f off, which means
I
that
would.
it would be your choice, right? It would be your choice in that situation to be like, "Yeah, thank you, but no thanks, Andrew. I'm good where I'm
Yeah.
at." And then that's
Pressure.
it,
Hold on.
right?
Do you think that the existence of pressure means that you have no free will?
There's not going to be any harm coming to you if you say no, correct? I think what you're talking about more is temptation, but there's no pressure because there's not going to be any harm to you if you were to decline that
Hold
offer,
on. Loss
correct?
of opportunity is absolutely harm. Loss of opportunity,
But
loss of
you were
connections, loss of potential is harm. What would I do? I'd say off. What would I do? I'd say off. That's why I would think that you would argue perhaps that abortion is harm. Because even if you believe that a fetus isn't a person, they are a potential person. And that loss of potentiality is a harm.
okay, dude. I'm not going to compare being able to go on Joe Rogan with a baby. All right, I'm calling it more of a temptation because nothing is going to be taken away from you if you decline to do business with Andrew Wilson. And the thing is that if you refuse Andrew, he's not going to all of a sudden have your, like, let's say your channel struck, or tell people, hey, don't go on Wick's streams or anything like that. Nothing will be done to you. He moves on, you move on. The difference is that you're not going to be working with Andrew.
The
It's
inability to work with someone with so many connections, with so much influence is a loss. You lose something.
but okay, well then what you're saying then is that you're entitled to Andrew Wilson's time.
Not at all.
That's what you're saying when you're saying that's a loss.
No,
Therefore,
but
Andrew
remember,
Wilson.
the hypothetical that we're working under is that he has made me an offer. He has made me an offer where I have a choice, where I can accept the offer and gain access to all these things, or I can reject the offer and lose access to all these things. But that rejection implies a loss, does it not?
That would be like saying, hey, I have $1 million. Vic, do you want this $1 million? And I say, no, thank you. And then you're like, okay. And then I say, you took that $1 million away from me.
I'm in trick.
Okay, Tyrone, I'm what is known as
It's an opportunity cost, but it is still a cost.
But you would never say that. I would never say you took that $1 million away from me, right? Like, it wasn't mine to begin with. In order to lose something, it had to have been mine to begin with, and it wasn't. Same thing with the Andrew Wilson, Joe Rogan stuff. It's not yours to begin with.